Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for another interesting beer review and another German Pils. This is a really legendary one and a really big and interesting brewery. It's the Rothaus Pils that I'm having. And over the hundreds of years since it was founded, it has evolved from being a small monastery brewery into being quite a big cult brewery owned by the state of Baden-Württemberg. So you can compare it to the Hofbräu, which is owned by the state of Bavaria, and the Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus, which is the full name of this brewery, is owned by the state of Baden-Württemberg, which is located just to the west of Bavaria. The labels of the beers from Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus is also something that has been making the beers very much of a cult appearance among people in Germany. I was reading about, and you can see for yourself the reason for that is that the labels are looking like that. They have a quite special look, which they've been keeping for a very long time. I can show you some other labels as well. Here is the Rothaus Pils Tannenzäpfle, and the back label is looking like that. It says also here, kristallklares, weiches Brauwasser aus 7 Killen in 1000 Meter Höhe Qualitätsmalz aus der Region und deutscher Aromahopfen aus Tettnang und der Hallertau machen Rothausbier so vollschmeckend. That's the Tannenzäpfle, and here we have the Eiszäpfle as well, the Rothaus Eiszäpfle, which is looking the same, except of that it's silver instead of green, and it's having ice here instead of wood like it is on this one. So it's really interesting looking bottles, and it says here, kristallklares weiches Brauwasser aus 7 Killen in 1000 Meter Höhe Qualitätsmalz aus der Region und deutscher Aromahopfen aus Tettnang und der Hallertau mache Rothausbier so vollschmeckend. The same text, and the back label is right here also. Really looking interesting, these bottles in my opinion. And here we have also the Hefeweizen, their Weißbier. Das Qualitätsbier aus dem Hochschwarzwald, Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus, 1798. And in Deutschlands höchstgelegener Brauerei mit größter Sorgfalt nach dem Reinheitsgebot gebraut. Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus. That's the Hefeweizen, and the logo is, or the thing which is making the labels interesting is this woman right here, painted on the bottle, whose name is Birgit, and Birgit is a quite common name in Germany, but of course they're spelling it wrong, because in the beginning beer is in this case something that means beer, of course. So quite fun name of this woman to that they've been choosing that name. Should show you the cap there as well, Rothaus, and I have already been reading this text. I did read it from another bottle. Rothaus Pils seit 1798. Das Qualitätsbier aus dem Hochschwarzwald, Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus. And that of course sounds really like big to call itself the Badische Staatsbrauerei aus dem Hochschwarzwald, and that also gives a really nice impression to me, because Schwarzwald is the quite famous forest, and the Hochschwarzwald is the highest top of that. So seems like the brewery is located high up on the mountains, which also it's always when I drink a beer, it's something that I think about. The beautiful pictures that are found in this brewery's website. I will link to the brewery's website on the description box below, of course. And it's really beautiful, the nature, the mountains, the forest, the lakes and everything like that. Those nature pictures you can see yourself in the brewer's website. In Deutschlands höchstgelegene Brauerei mit größter Sorgfalt nach dem Reinheitsgebot von 1516 gebraut. Zutaten: Wasser, Gerstenmalz, Hopfen. Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus, from Rothaus im Schwarzwald. Here we have the back label, and really classical looking one, the Rothaus. And I'm gonna read about the history of the brewery, some information about the brewery. There are much more information about this brewery on the website that you can read about for yourself. But I'm gonna read quite much anyway, because I found some, it's a very interesting brewery, of course, since it's owned by the Badische Baden-Württemberg state. It's at the northern edge of the village Grafenhausen in the southern Black Forest, one of Germany's most successful and profitable regional breweries. And it says some things here about the Tannenzäpfle, which is their most famous product. Also it mentions the text here that it's known as a cult beer throughout Germany, and literally means little fire cone, which is like a tree because of the bottle shape of the bottle. Despite Rothaus refraining from intensive advertising campaigns, the demand for the once local beer has spread throughout Germany. So that's of course something interesting, that even though they're not advertising, they are still growing because of the cult appearance that they've been achieving. And here is some text about the label of Birgit, which is quite interesting to read. You can read it for yourself on the Wikipedia site, the English Wikipedia site, or the German. The current label has been used since 1972. I don't know if there's any brewery that has been using exactly the same labels that long period. The Birgit was introduced in 1956. And some history about the brewery. Rothaus received its name from the patrician family Roth, which was originated from the region of Klettgau and settled down in Grafenhausen around the year 1300 AD. In 1340 they began with the construction of their homestead there, the Rothaus, German for the Red House. In 1660 the house was sold to a man named Michael Kaiser, who would then proceed to turn it into an inn after obtaining a liquor license from the Benedictine monastery of St. Blaisen. The order itself bought the premises 100 years later and reconstructed it. Under the leadership of Martin Gerbert, Prince Abbot of the Abbey, the monks' council decided in late 1790 to start attempts of brewing in January 1791. Gerbert's intention was to enhance the status of his lordship of Bonndorf over the nearby princedom of Fürstenberg. Fürstenberg had been in the possession of a brewing license since the 13th century and would later originate the Fürstlich-Fürstenbergische Brauerei, Fürstenberg Brewery, it's called nowadays. Additionally, the brewery was a measure of economic promotion, and it was intended to create employment and to counteract the allegedly overpriced beer from Donaueschingen. However, there were some claims that the monks had only wanted to suppress the drinking of liquor by those living in the Black Forest. Considering the nearby towns of St. Blaisen and Bondorf, the location of the brewery was very convenient in terms of infrastructure. It was surrounded by large areas covered with woods and an abundance of fresh water. This enabled the starting of an extensive brewery firm. To this day, the brewing water is extracted from the 7 in-house wells. Through the process of secularization, the possession of the monastery and its properties was transferred to the Grand Duchy of Baden in 1806. Since then, the brewery has been known as the Großherzoglich Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus, in English, Grand Ducal State-owned Brewery of Baden. In the November Revolution of 1918, which led to the abolition of the monarchy in Baden, caused the company to shorten their name to Badische Staatsbrauerei Rothaus, which means state-owned brewery of Baden. As from then on, the brewery was owned by the state of Baden-Württemberg. Since 1922, the company has the legal form of a stock corporation, the shares of which are currently held entirely by the associated company of the state. Between 1920 and 1933, Max Jäger, later mayor of the city of Rastatt, was the Rothaus brewery's manager. Under CEO Norbert Northhelfer, who had previously been a district president of Freiburg, Rothaus doubled its beer sales in a shrinking market in the 1990s. Capacity was increased to 1 million hectoliters per year. In 1992, Rothaus acquired the Dominican island of Constance, including the island resort on it, which is leased to the Steinberger Hotel Group. On October 1st, 2004, Thomas Schäuble, former Minister of the Interior of Baden-Württemberg, became the CEO of the brewery. In the fiscal year 2006, the brewery achieved a production volume of 937,000 hectoliters and a revenue of 88.2 million euros, making it the second largest brewery in the state of Eichbaum. Approximately 90% of the brewery's sales are made in Baden-Württemberg. Near the end of 2007, Rothaus acquired the hotel next to the brewery area and set up a fan shop there. Within an area of about 1 hectare, a small adventure park containing the Zäpfleweg, which was opened in 2008, as well as a playground were created. In addition, State Road 170 was relocated and a roundabout was built in order to make it more attractive as a destination. As of 2011, a total of 232 people are employed at the Rothaus and its 2 sales offices. After Thomas Schäuble became seriously ill, Gerhard Strathaus, former finance minister of Baden-Württemberg, took over the management of the brewery on September 5, 2012. Since July 1st, 2013, the company has been managed by Christian Rasch. Rasch is the first non-politician in decades to be the manager of the state brewery. It used to be the common practice for former state governments to fill state-owned enterprises' leadership positions with former politicians. This practice, however, sparked much public criticism. Hence, Agriculture Minister Alexander Bonde arranged the first job advertisement for this position. Egon Sender's Swiss headhunter company was hired to assist with the job advertisement. Rasch had been sales and marketing manager of the Stuttgarter Hofbräu brewery since 2008 and became the management's spokesperson in 2010. The newspaper Stuttgarter Zeitung described Rasch's switch from Stuttgarter Hofbräu to Rothaus as spectacular because to the circumstances under which happened. In 2016, the brand Tennenzäpfle celebrated its 60th year of existence with a 60th anniversary edition of the original 1956 label design. That's some information about the brewery, quite long text. But finally, fast over to the tasting part of this one. The Rothaus Pils. Interesting one, in my opinion. Interesting for many reasons. Legendary, really legendary. Comes from Hochschwarzwald. Be sure to check out the website and how amazing that that nature is looking, where the brewery is located in the Black Forest in Hochschwarzwald. Finally, opening up the Rothaus Pils. I should mention also regarding the bottles that I did show before, the Tannenzäpfle is the Pils and the Eiszäpfle is the Märzen Export. So you know about that. Let's pour this one up. There we have it. The Rothaus Pils. Looking nice, doesn't it? Really, really pale, golden color with this nice white head. And yeah, you can see for yourself right here. All the small bubbles. Very, very, very pale yellow. Easy to see through. Just the way a German Pils should be. One of the most paler yellow colored German Pils I've seen probably. I mean, it's just the way a German Pils should be. So very pale yellow and thick white head. Important to build up a thick white head to keep the taste of the beer in the glass. Really great looking. I don't know, remember if I mentioned it's got 5.1 ABV also. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, really fresh. Real nice quality. Really easy to taste the hops bitterness and the quality of all ingredients made from the local water, malt and hops that is used. It's gonna be interesting to taste this one because it's such a cult beer, the Rothaus Badische Staatsbrauerei Pils. And as you know, I love German Pils with their hops bitterness and everything like that. So let's taste it. Prost! Fantastic, of course. Really nice, pleasant hops taste. Just the way a German Pils should be, in my opinion. So high quality of the ingredients, nice balance to it, easy to drink. Really a big pleasure. So definitely a big recommendation for me. It's I mean, it's a beautiful beer, tastes great, and yeah, it's really fine. The Rothaus Pils is a great one. I can't say anything else about more than that. I recommend it really much. True German style Pils of the taste, in my opinion. So big recommendation for me. Looks nice, both the beer, the bottle, labels, tastes great, aroma is great, nice quality, the feeling and everything like that, which is important for me, is there when you know about the brewery and the history of it and how it's located and the quality of the process, the ingredients, everything. Perfect. Yeah, from me, best opinion to the Rothaus Pils. This one is a must. Find it and try it. You won't be disappointed. That's something I can say for sure. And I think that's it for now. I hope you continue to follow my channel because there's a lot of interesting beers that will be coming up in the future. I like to do these reviews and I hope you like my reviews as well. So I see you in the next video.